People often ask, what does FFA stand for? While the letters stand for Future Farmers of America, it has grown to mean so much more. Today, FFA stands for leadership, growth, and career success in a wide range of career paths. Since 1928, millions of students have been entrusted with the opportunity to wear the esteemed blue jacket. And in the process, they've experienced a transformation. Though the agricultural landscape has shifted dramatically throughout the decades, FFA has been a constant. We are proud to have provided a leading example of technological innovation while paving the way for a field of diversely talented individuals. Now more than ever, people realize the value of understanding where our foods, fabrics, and plants come from. And they are increasingly aware that agriculture is a crucial part of their daily lives. FFA members and organizations are shaping this awareness. They are more empowered every day with knowledge that they take into the communities where they live, work, worship, and play. American history is rich with the stories of agriculturalists of all kinds, from the farmer to the scientist, the doctor to the business owner. And agriculture now has a richer story because of FFA. Today we are grateful for our past and look forward to shaping the future. We are the National FFA organization, and we are right now.
FFA Basics. Learn more about the FFA and our place in the three-component model: colors, mission statement, creed, motto, and emblem. The letters FFA stand for Future Farmers of America. In 1988, the official name was changed to the National FFA Organization to reflect the growing diversity in the agriculture industry. FFA is part of agricultural education, which has three important components: classroom laboratory work, FFA, and the Supervised Agricultural Experience, or SAE. The colors for FFA have meaning too. We use national blue to represent the national scope of FFA. And, as corn is grown in all states, we use corn gold to represent common agricultural interests. The National FFA organization is dedicated to making a positive difference in the lives of students by developing their potential for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success through agricultural education. The FFA Creed, written in 1930 by Kansas farmer E.M. Tiffany. These are 5 paragraphs that new members must memorize outlining traditions and values of the FFA. The FFA motto gives members 12 short words to live by as they experience the opportunities in the organization. The National FFA emblem, consisting of 5 symbols, is representative of the history, goals, and future of the organization. Each element within the emblem has unique significance. The eagle represents the national scope of the organization. The cross-section of the ear of corn, it stands for common agricultural interests. The owl is for wisdom and knowledge. The plow represents hard work and dedication. The rising sun brings the promise of a new day in agriculture. And the actual words in the emblem? They signify the importance of FFA in agricultural education. FFA offices. The President presides over meetings, appoints and serves on committees, and coordinates activities of their chapter. The Vice President assumes the duties of the President if needed, develops the program of activities, and coordinates committee work. The Secretary prepares and posts agendas and minutes, is responsible for chapter correspondence, and maintains member attendance and activities. The Treasurer is in charge of FFA funds, collects dues, and presents reports. The reporter serves as Program of Activities Public Relations Committee Chair, releases news to local media, and publishes a chapter website or newsletter. The Sentinel maintains order, keeps meeting room and supplies in order, and welcomes guests. The Advisor supervises chapter activities, informs students and parents on FFA, and builds community support. Additional offices could be in place and vary chapter to chapter. State FFA associations function within the constitution of the National FFA organization. but may also create individual leadership structures, awards, programs, and competitions. State FFA officers lead the membership of their state associations and are elected by state FFA convention delegates. Qualified candidates must have obtained a state FFA degree. Each year, the National FFA organization selects 6 student members to represent the organization as National FFA officers. Members must have received the American FFA degree and be selected by their state association in order to be eligible. A great deal is expected of national officers. Their schedule resembles that of a corporate CEO, traveling more than 100,000 miles and meeting thousands of new people, maybe even the President of the United States. Serving as an FFA officer can be a rewarding experience. How would you like to lead and serve your chapter, state, and nation? FFA opening and closing ceremonies.
The meeting room will come to order. We are now holding a meeting of the Danville FFA chapter. Mr. Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they're at their stations, and report back to you, Mr. President. The Sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
Your duties there?
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the President in maintaining order.
The Reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people, in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to the Virgin Islands and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The Treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there?
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The Secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The Advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why stationed by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as a need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Mr. Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is the symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom could accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our President, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the President so stationed?
The rising sun is the token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our President, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and in the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll of members.
There are 7 members and 4 guests present, Mr. President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA membership possess. May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this meeting of the Danville FFA chapter duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. Mr. Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I have none, Mr. President.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this meeting? We're about to adjourn this meeting of the Danville FFA chapter. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, join me in a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now declare this meeting adjourned.
FFA degrees. FFA members can earn degrees as they progress through the phases of their leadership, academic, and career skills development. Are you a 7th or 8th grade FFA member? Do you participate in chapter activities? If you answered yes to both, you are well on your way to receiving the Discovery FFA degree, the first of 5 degrees you can earn as an FFA member. As a high school member receiving the Green Hand degree, you have opened the door to the many exciting opportunities that the National FFA organization has to offer. When you qualify for the Green Hand FFA degree, you have earned the first of 4 degrees that build on each other. Whether it is helping plan your chapter's next activity or working hard on your SAE, chapter involvement is vital to success in the FFA. The root of the National FFA organization is its chapters. By receiving this degree, you demonstrate your role in your chapter's growth and development. Like a high school diploma, the State FFA degree celebrates your high school FFA career. Awarded by your state association, this degree is a symbol that you are a chapter leader. As a state FFA degree recipient, you have taken your involvement beyond the chapter level and have created a successful SAE program. As the highest degree achievable, receiving the American FFA degree shows a member's dedication to his or her chapter and state FFA associations. It demonstrates tremendous effort applied toward their SAE program and the outstanding leadership abilities and community involvement they experienced throughout their FFA career. American FFA degree recipients show promise for their future and have gone above and beyond to achieve excellence. Earning an FFA degree is worth the time and effort. What could you do to start working towards an FFA degree? Learn more about types of supervised agricultural experiences, career development events, and leadership development. All opportunities for students on their path to career success.
An SAE is a supervised agricultural experience, which is a project that you do outside of your scheduled class time. You take the skills that you learn inside of your agriculture class and apply them to your project, and eventually you can get awards and scholarships through FFA.
Members can choose from 6 different SAE types: foundational, ownership entrepreneurship, placement internship, research-based, school-based enterprise, and service learning experience. Even though projects may be different, the skills learned apply to everyone.
It's gotten me to know a lot more people, experience things that I probably wouldn't have before.
I think it's made me a better person. It's helped me figure out who I am, what I want to do in my future.
The skills I have learned from this project are being consistent, being responsible, being patient, and learning how to manage my time.
I have grown up, I've developed and learned how to take care of animals, how to raise them properly, and how to get the best quality out of what you have.
My SAE is preparing me for everything that I will have to do come college and so on.
A career or leadership development event is an activity that members can participate in to gain real experience in a certain area that prepares them for a career in agriculture.
I really loved the prepared public speaking. With any career choice, you are going to have to do some public speaking, whether it's in front of a crowd or just a small business meeting. It's always something that you can use.
My first career development event was the job interview, because I actually used the skills that I gained in the job interview career development event during a scholarship interview and actually ended up winning a full ride scholarship. And I really feel that it was because of my ability to do well in an interview setting.
There are multiple CDEs and LDEs covering job skills from communications to mechanics. Some events allow students to compete as individuals, while others allow them to compete in teams. Every SAE, CDE, and LDE fits into a specific career focus area. Explore your options and pursue the ones that interest you today.
It's brought me a lot of opportunity and experience.
It's gotten me to know a lot more people, experience things that I probably wouldn't have before.
I think it's made me a better person. It's helped me figure out who I am, what I want to do in my future.
FFA has impacted me more than anything ever has. I have grown up, I've developed and learned how to take care of animals, how to raise them properly, and how to get the best quality out of what you have.
My SAE is preparing me for everything that I will have to do come college, and so on.
I used to have stage fright. I could not talk in front of anyone at all. But my advisor, he kind of, let's say, forced me to do Creed, and that just kind of really helped.
I think it's helped me to become more confident in who I am, more outgoing, and more willing to push my own limits.
I'm glad I joined FFA because it's made me a better person.
FFA has impacted me by helping me work with people around me and be a part of something and have responsibility.
My SAE and overall FFA experience has impacted me by, it has transformed me into the person I am today.
FFA has impacted me a lot because I've got to know so many different people, and you get to hear their stories of why they joined FFA, and they're all mean a lot to them, and it's just a great organization.
I help in our chapter's greenhouse. Every spring we do a greenhouse sale, and so now it's not that active in our greenhouse class because it is getting into winter. By the time once the springtime rolls around, I'm in there almost every single day working and planting flowers to sell to our community later on in the spring.
My SAEs are breeding goats and show cattle along with agri-science fair.
I go around to my elderly neighbors and I help improve their yard.
I raise market swine for the county fair.
The big SAE I worked on this past year was restoring a tractor. Our chapter restored a 1940 John Deere Model B, and we tore it completely apart, had like 1,000 parts laying on pallets in a shop, and then put it completely back together and raffled it off.
I actually have multiple SAEs. My freshman and sophomore year, I did showing rabbits at the county fair. Last year, I took advanced leadership in the ag department, and we did a thing called a fifth day project, which is basically how we can make our community or the school a better place. And what we chose to do for that as a class was to make a video encouraging the habits of highly effective people.
My SAE revolves around poultry. I am raising 2 breeds of chickens. That one is a very well laying chicken, but very poor in meat quality, and one is a very high meat quality but very poor in laying quality. And I'm hoping to actually crossbreed them and try to make a species that is very reliable, can not only give eggs but can give meat, can be harvested for everything that it needs, and basically help everybody else with food consumption.
My SAE is I show and raise market lambs. And we travel all over the state and go to different shows, and I've met so many new people through it, and it's been a great experience.
The most challenging thing about my SAE is probably all the work put into it, because it does take dedication, and it's early mornings selling plants and dealing with money, because I kind of don't like selling things. That's just my personal preference, but it is a lot of work and it is a lot of effort, but in the end it's worth it.
The most challenging thing about our SAE was just getting it done in time.
The most challenging thing about my SAE, with my show cattle, it's once you develop that bond, having to sell them and know they're getting slaughtered at a later date. And with the goats, it's the late nights watching these goats to make sure they haven't had their kids yet.
The most challenging part of the tractor this year was getting guys to commit to showing up to help and remembering what parts did what, because when we had 5 pallets of parts and about 20 pictures of what stuff belonged to, we were kind of lost, so we had some help from the community who helped us out.
Finding the time to do it. FFA keeps me so busy that it's just hard to find the time to do it.
The most challenging thing about my SAE is having to learn how to show a completely different animal that I've never been around in my life. We have different animals on the farm, but I've never been around lambs, and these animals get to be 50 pounds or more heavier than me. So they're very strong, and I've been pulled down a few times.
Most challenging would have to be trying to keep the peace between them, because having roosters near each other, you know that never goes well, trying to keep the peace and all that, having to take care of them, clean them and everything. But in the end, every little hardship is all worth it in the end for the product that I'm hoping will be along with my hypothesis.
My favorite thing about my SAE would have to be that I get to show with my little cousin, and I get to watch her grow and improve every day. And I've taught her like most of the things that she knows about it, and it just makes me happy to see her learning from me.
That it was kind of the whole independent thing, like we were responsible for planning all the aspects of the experiment and accounting for errors, and then finally putting all the results together.
It's interacting with my community because we always get good feedback throughout the whole year of how well our plants do and how much everyone in the community loves them, and we get a lot of community support.
I love working on mechanical stuff and working on a farm. I live on a farm, so I work on the farm every time I'm not at school, and it gave me an opportunity to work kind of on the farm because we were doing stuff that we do on the farm, but with my friends and learning more about mechanical sciences and engineering and reverse engineering, figuring out how stuff worked by tearing it apart and seeing what the parts actually did.
My favorite thing would just be coming so close to your animals and how you develop the special bond with them.
The fact that I got to raise them, I got to get attached to my animals, that I'm actually able to take care of them as they'll take care of me, and the eggs are delicious. But just being able to see them grow from little chicks to being the huge ones that they are, and being able to hear other people being interested about it, especially in the FFA, I think that is my favorite part.
My name's Allie Auk. I'm part of the Corvallis FFA chapter, and I'm a junior. One of my SAEs falls under the Home and Community Development category. I ride along with the River Valley County Sheriff's Department. Whether I ride day or night shifts, I get in, I'm along for the ride. Whether that's traffic calls, home calls, we have it all. Definitely building relationships with people in my community. If I ever need them, they're the ones that I'm going to turn to, so that's definitely my favorite part. Depending on how long I ride, I can ride anywhere from an 8 to 10 hour shift, so staying alert for that whole time, as well as taking all the information in and trying to process it, so I'm not constantly bugging the other officers about what's going on. What goes on in the community is a big one, as well as what happens in the day-to-day of a real-life officer, not the Hollywood version that you see on the movies. I definitely want to take a career path in law, whether that's law enforcement, probation officer, lawyer, I haven't quite decided yet. Just building those relationships are gonna play a big factor in that, so they know my name, and when I need help, I can ask for it. I started my SAE as a freshman. However, I didn't get an FFA program in my school until I was a sophomore. So figuring out that my ride-along experience could actually translate into my SAE was something that was pretty interesting. Another thing is that police officers are the ones who enforce the ag-related laws. Living in Montana, we have a ton of livestock, so without them, those laws couldn't be enforced. Obviously, the River Valley County Sheriff's Department has been a huge help. Without them, my SAE would be non-existent. Another person that has really played a huge role in my SAE is my FFA advisor. I didn't know how this would tie into agriculture, and I didn't know that it could, so he's taught me ways that it can. While doing my ride-alongs, I've gotten to know the valley way better. That's what we do, is travel up and down, go different places, as well as being on my toes at all times, being aware of my surroundings. Find something that you like and run with it. I had no idea that my ride-along experience could be an SAE, and just find something that you're passionate about and that can maybe help you in your future, and just go with it.
My name is Dylan Gonzalez. I'm from Los Lunas, New Mexico, and I will be a senior this year at Los Lunas High School. That's almost perfect. My SAE is fly fishing, more in-depth fly tying, some traditional methods, some entomology. So this is a stonefly, or a salmonfly nymph. This is a Pteronarcis californicus. Favorite parts about my SAE would have to be being able to pick off some extremely picky trout, using some patterns that have been around for a while, some patterns that I created myself. And here we have a rooster saddle hackle. Some of the biggest challenges with my SAE are being able to repeat a pattern, being able to tie a pattern as many sizes as I need, as many sizes as I want. We're gonna go over here, we're gonna grab some marabou, black, since we like tying black woolly boogers. Being able to use different colors, different styles, different threads, and some chenille. I'm gonna use some ice dub chenille in black. Just ultimately being creative through my vision. So now what I like to do to start my flies, we go ahead and mash the barb. The most I've learned from my SAE is patience. I mean, through fly fishing, you can learn 10 books in one day. You can learn as much as you want to take in, but patience has to be ultimately what you grasp from it. Like, there's been times fishing on the San Juan where you'll put your rod down for a bit, just kind of mad at maybe you're stuck in a tree or something, but being able to have that patience to re-rig correctly with some flies that are very well tied is the key. Fly fishing is something you do your entire life. We had just a few weeks ago went to the San Juan, and my grandpa was in the quality section with the woolly booger that I tied, that he's still able to fish and still able to work around the water. I think that that's important, something we can do our whole lives. My dad has helped me with my SAE throughout my entire fly fishing, fly tying career. He's the one that started me with thread in my right hand and learning how to tie some traditional patterns, some annelids, some traditional methods, ways of doing it. I joined the FFA for a few reasons, one being leadership. It has taught me an immense amount of leadership. Another one would have to be the friend side of it. You gain many friends through FFA.
I'm Emily Seifert. I'm a sophomore, and I'm from the Corvallis FFA chapter in Montana. My SAEs, I write blog posts for the agriculture-based blogging website known as Raised in a Barn, and after I write blogs on there, they go on to our personal chapter website. I started this particular SAE because it was very unique, and it was very different compared to other SAEs that I saw within my chapter. And I saw it as an opportunity to grow and develop. My favorite parts about my SAE is that I get to spread the word about agriculture to those that may not know as much about agriculture and don't have an FFA chapter to learn about agriculture. From my SAE, I've learned essential time management skills and how to work on a team and team management skills, and I've been able to hone my writing skills. The biggest challenges of my SAE is working on a team with my 39 other team members. We all have very different personalities, very different opinions. We're all in very wide amount of age ranges, and sometimes our opinions clash. This SAE impacts my future because it helps me hone my writing skills as I want to go into a writing-based profession in the long run. People that have helped me with my SAE are my friends who've read over my blogs and my advisor who has helped me write my blogs and given me ideas for my blogs, and my region reps within my team who also help kind of fine-tune the blogs after we send them in. I would give students the advice of just being able to go out and pick an SAE that they really want to do in the long run, not just something that they see the rest of their chapter doing, and they want to just kind of get on the bandwagon, just do something that they want to do, that they want to turn into a career maybe in life.
My name is Katia Wade. I graduated from Belen High School, and I am going to be attending New Mexico State University this fall as a freshman. A brief description of my SAE is basically dog training. There are categories such as the hours I spent, the costs such as the vet bills, the trainings and showmanship, and the actual competitions and the results. Also, the training goals in showmanship, agility, rally, and obedience. My favorite parts of my SAE would be Saturday mornings where I would go to competitions and trainings where I would meet people from all around the state. The biggest challenges of my SAE would be training a young dog and having them be directed and have them stay on task and having the best outcome with the handler and the dog. What motivated me to start this SAE was the love of dogs. I love Australian Shepherds, and I love the human and animal bond between the two. I have never been without a dog my entire life. Earlier in my 4-H days, I was able to be offered a program called the Mexico 4-H Dog School. Also, this is where I fell in love with the agility course. I had a family dog named Duke, a Labrador, and this is where I started off with my first obedience classes. As me and Duke got older, I realized he was not going to be an agility dog. And this is when I had to purchase an Australian Shepherd. I did some research on this breed showing that it was a smart and fast dog. This was a great investment. This is the perfect dog. I have been with many professional trainers that have helped me with the technical parts of training an animal. Also, my ag teacher has supervised me in my progress of this SAE. What motivated me to start this particular SAE is I love dogs, I love Australian Shepherds, and I love the human-animal bond.
I am Keegan Hum. I'm a senior in high school, and I'm from the Breckenridge FFA chapter in Michigan. My SAE is a placement project in a tractor dealership. My favorite part about my project is coming in, seeing coworkers every day, and being able to see behind the scenes what happens in a business. My biggest challenge of my project is not being able to find a bin when I have to put a part away. End up walking around not being able to find it, and you end up wasting time. In my SAE, I have learned how to use teamwork communication, being able to ask questions and ask for help when I need it. My SAE impacts my future by showing employability on a resume, such as going through a job interview and then later on through the job showing responsibility and being able to get things done. What motivated me to start my SAE was coming in for parts on my family farm and wondering what happened behind the scenes. Now I've came back and now I work here. The people that have helped me with my SAE would be my coworkers and my ag advisors. My advisor has helped me with the resume and everything for prep, and then throughout the job I've gotten help from my coworkers. Some skills that I've gained through my SAE are teamwork and communication, being able to ask other coworkers for help and ask questions about where things go. The best advice I could give to a student about an SAE is make sure that it's something you love doing and that you really want to share. Something that you want to spark their interest, maybe get them started on their own SAE, or just teach them about your interests. An SAE is a supervised agriculture experience that an advisor or someone who could be an advisor helps you through a project that could help you for later on in life. I joined FFA because I saw all the opportunities and skills that I could use to gain experience and being able to pass that on to younger students. Other students should join FFA because there are so many opportunities and experiences that you could gain from career development events and different events that your chapter has on their own that you could just pass on to other members and being able to take those throughout later in life.
My name is Morgan Wido, and I'm a senior at Corvallis High School in Corvallis, Montana. My supervised agricultural experience is an internship at Rocky Mountain Laboratories, which is a biomedical research facility here in Hamilton, Montana. My job here is to assist with all laboratory procedures, experiments, maintain laboratory safety supplies and equipment. I've always been incredibly passionate about science and medicine, and have always looked into going into medical research. And so pushing towards the end of my high school career, I wanted to get into the lab somehow, get lab experience, see what it was like to actually work in a lab to determine whether or not I wanted to go research or clinical. And I made a few phone calls and a couple emails and found out about the position here as a laboratory intern, and got the position, and it's been awesome ever since. Some skills I've gained through my SAE here is number one, attention to detail and how critical it is to do a job right the first time. Working here in research, it's really important that you do your job right the first time, paying attention to all details, because if not, anything that you do wrong can jeopardize the experiment here and years of work. Second, communication. It's critically important, and especially in research, it's huge. My favorite parts of my SAE are getting to work with people who are very passionate about science. Whether they have a PhD, a master's degree, or post-baccalaureate students here working in the lab, they're not only interested in their research here, but in what's happening on a scientific level across the world and basic and very critical scientific issues in our world. The biggest challenge of my SAE has been being able to overcome the learning curve. I'm a high school student with a basic science background and education, and it definitely took a lot of time and research on my part outside of my job to be able to understand the jargon and the terms and the procedures that I'm doing here in the lab, and to be able to understand the people that I'm working with and the projects that I'm working on. The people who have definitely helped me the most in my SAE are my boss and the private investigator for our lab, Karen Peterson, as well as several of the other researchers in our lab. Clayton Winkler, who is a postdoctoral fellow, has really helped me with a lot of the processes and procedures that I'm responsible for, has taught me a lot about not only the paper that he's published and acknowledged me in, but the process to publish a paper and basic occurrences in the lab and what our research is actually doing.
I'm Beth Harper. I am the Environmental and Natural Resources Superintendent from Florida. Okay, the ENR event is a two-day event. The first day we are indoors and the students are presented with a team activity, a scenario that they must develop a problem-solving focus towards this scenario and present it to the judges. They also have a written exercise, and that could be anything from a press release to providing a letter to the editor for a local newspaper. The second day, we are outside, and the students go through various practicums where they may be showing their skills at water testing, soil analysis. They may be going through a GPS course, waste management issues, and possibly an environmental analysis. Today, agriculture is faced with so many environmental issues. This career development event helps foster stewardship for the environment through the many practicums and problem-solving events that we give them. Through this contest, students can be prepared for many careers in the agricultural field, anything from wildlife conservation, soil science, soil conservation, water management, and just about any career in agriculture today is faced with some environmental pressure and issues.
Hi, I'm Dave Snyder, and I'm the Milk Quality and Products Superintendent for the National FFA CDE. The first day we have our team activity where the students will actually examine some of the different properties of milk and some of the statistics and information they're given to determine what needs to be done with a milk sample that's been examined and the information given to them. The next day, we meet early in the morning to do the 4 levels of practicum, examining 10 samples of milk to see what the defects might be present if there are any, and then after they have examined it thoroughly, at that same time they need to determine what the intensity level is of the milk samples that they're looking at. The next thing they do is the cheese. They have to identify cheeses, and then after that they will be asked 7 questions about the particular cheeses that they identified to determine different things if they answer or do not answer that cheese. An example of one of the questions that they might face would be, what country of origin does that cheese come from? And they have to know if it could be Italy or France or Germany or England or the United States. They also have to know how to score and indicate or identify the presence of mastitis, which is a disease that dairy cows can get, which could infect the udder and cause bad product to be produced, making the milk bad. They have to score that, determine if there is the presence of any mastitis and how severe the intensity is on that. After that, they also have to rotate into a section where they have to answer 60 questions, 30 on milk production, 30 questions in marketing. Along with that, then they do problem solving, and the problem solving is dealing with different problems that could be faced in the dairy industry. I encourage anybody to pursue this contest because it leads into laboratory processing, food preparation in the dairy industry, which is a wide open industry that offers a lot of many very lucrative and challenging careers in the field, in this particular field. And there's marketing and public relations. It's just a wide open area, and good individuals get the opportunity to involve themselves in very rewarding careers. So I encourage you.
Hello, I'm Paige Allen. I'm the Veterinary Science Superintendent for the National FFA. The first day is a half a day. You come and you do an orientation. You then do, you're split into a group, and throughout that Wednesday afternoon, or that first afternoon, you will actually take a written exam. You will also take a math practicum or a math exam. You will be able to write a couple of different scenarios. We have different topics each year for the students to write. You also do an identification, and we have split that into 3 different areas. Parasites, you learn about instrument identification for both the small and the large animal. And then you also do a little bit of breeds. We think the livestock groups here do a great job with the breeds, but we do touch on the breeds just a little bit. And then there is actually a portion where you'll do some hands-on skills where you can demonstrate your knowledge of how to remove a bandage, or you can demonstrate how to restrain a dog for a specific task that maybe the veterinarian would want to do. So that's some brief examples of the different practicums that we have. The complete list is in the Veterinary Science CDE handbook, and that's where all of the information that you will need every year will be posted for you. So there's also the team activity where you are given a topic early in the year, usually in the late spring, early summer, and you have the summer and the fall to prepare the team activity. And this year's team activity talks about a horse with colic. So the expectation is that you go with your team, you go visit some veterinarians, more than one if you want, talk about the different things that would happen with that particular patient, talk about the different roles in veterinary medicine that the veterinarian would spend time doing, what the veterinary technician would do, what the veterinary assistant does, what role the client plays in caring for their animal also. It's really the goal of the committee is to educate students, their ag teachers, parents, in the world of what you can do in veterinary science or veterinary medicine. You can be a veterinarian, which requires some undergraduate work and then a graduate degree. You can become a veterinary technician. You can work as a veterinary assistant without any schooling. You can be a farm manager. You could be a practice manager as a veterinary technician also. There are a lot of career opportunities in veterinary medicine, and we're trying to give everybody an opportunity to see each of those.
Hey, I'm David. You got a minute? Learn always. I'll break it down with you. Learn. Every single person you meet knows something that you don't, and you have the ability to learn something from each and every one of them. I'm the first one to admit, as hard as it is, that I don't know everything. So I try to learn something new from each and every person that I meet. And you should too. Always. In every single situation we're in, we have the ability to learn something new. Whether it's an experience that pushes us outside of our comfort zone or something we do every day, there's something we can learn by engaging truly in every single moment. Learn always. Because we have the ability to learn something new from each situation we're in and every single person we meet, we have the responsibility to do so. Learn always with me today.
Hey, I'm Victoria. You got a minute? Have you ever had a bad day? Yeah, me too. Today, I want to show you how to stay positive. The first thing that you can do is focus on the good. It's so easy to be swept away by the bad. That's why we need to be intentional about looking for the good in our life. Every day, write down 3 good things that happened. The second thing that you can do to remain positive is be grateful. Think about the teachers, coaches, and friends in your life who believe in you. Take a moment every day and simply thank them. When you focus on the good and are grateful, you'll naturally live a more positive life.